right, thank you very much, Calvin. My name is Dr. Tyler Crooks, and I am in no way qualified to be speaking to you guys about programming anything other than a microwave. But when it comes to the meat vehicle that is your human body, I do have a few things that might be helpful to you. Just a show of hands real quick, how many of y'all in your professional adult lives have run into either neck pain, headaches, TMJ problems, carpal tunnel, lower back pain? Let's get a show of hands real quick. So this is a pretty young crowd, and if you look around, there's a lot of hands that went up. What I'm here to talk to you about today is a precipitating condition that's referred to as upper cross syndrome. So upper cross syndrome is a orthopedic as well as a biomechanical diagnosis. This is something that impacts most people that work with computers all day long, or is also referred to as text and neck syndrome, if you've ever heard of that. So, due to the fact that we work at computers and we're stuck to our cell phones all the time, we develop a pattern of muscular imbalances. And this is most commonly expressed as people saying, oh, I carry stress and tension in my neck. If I had a nickel for every time I heard that in my office, I would be nickel rich. So, one of the things that I express to my patients all the time is that your function is largely dictated by the positions that you routinely subject yourself to. And what I mean by that is that if you're stuck in this position all day long, you're going to be stuck in that position when you get up, too. It's not just going to go away. So if you do it for one day, not a big deal. But over the course of months, years, decades, an entire career, this wreaks havoc on your body. So the question of the evening is, how do you fix it? Well, it's pretty simple. You just move. So, in referring to upper cross syndrome, or text neck as it's commonly referred to, we have a twofold problem. Things are very tight, overworked, underpaid, as I like to say. These refer to the suboccipital muscles, the upper traps and the levator scapula, as well as the pectoral muscle group. So think like Mr. Burns. Things that are commonly asleep at the wheel that propel this problem too are the deep neck flexors and the lower trapezius muscles. So why is this important? This is the precipitating factor for headaches, believe it or not, TMJ disorder, neck pain, even lower back pain, shoulder pain, thoracic outlet syndrome, things like that. Stuff that you don't want to end up in my office for. So how do we address these things? So I was pretty proud of myself today. I had video embedded in my PowerPoint presentation. And I know what you're thinking, impressive, right? They gave the meathead a computer, and he figured out how to embed a video, but it didn't work, so I had to go with the QR code. So I have some videos that were uploaded. I've made a YouTube channel just specifically for this occasion this evening. So we're going to try to work with linking up to a video here, and I wasn't aware that the sound was not going to come through the HDMI, so I've got a microphone set up to the computer. So if we can't hear it, I'm pulling one of you from the audience, and we're going to do it right now. So, the suboccipital muscles. We're referring to our fine movement muscles of the head. This is going to be our yes-no muscles. These are most commonly implicated in things like tension headaches. So, I could teach you 16 different isolationist stretches for this area. You wouldn't remember a single one of them, especially after a couple beers. And then I wouldn't have done my job. Or I could just teach you one sort of auditing tool / self-myofascial release. So we're going to try this real quick. And if this doesn't work, that's okay. I'm just going to pull one of you from the audience, and we're going to do it here. So come on, here we go.
This next drill is designed to release the muscles of the suboccipital region.
So can you guys hear anything in the back? Oh, that's a bummer. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. For that one, you need some equipment that we don't have here. So I just want you to scan the QR code. The next ones, I can definitely pull somebody from the audience from. Apologize for the technical difficulty. So this is going to be, our common denominator amongst our headaches, neck pain. This is most commonly implicated with screen time. Now, why is this important? Your head weighs 10 pounds. Some of us are working with a little less than others, but more or less 10 pounds. So now, I want you to imagine you're holding a bowling ball over your shoulder like this. Now, you have the muscles and the joint architecture to hold that most of the day. Not a big deal. Now, move that a foot in front of your body. That's the analogy for moving your head, say, 1.5 inches out in front of your center of mass. now that bowling ball starts to become very heavy. It starts to shake after not very long. So for every 1.5 inches of anterior head translation, or think going from a nice neutral posture here to Mr. Burns, your 10-pound head now weighs 21 pounds. You add 11 pounds for every 1.5 inches of translation. Again, not a big deal for one day, but over time, over the course of a career, that's going to cause you headaches. It's almost a guarantee. So again, video link from the QR code. I'd be happy to demonstrate this again. Apologize for the technical difficulty. So now, the other component of this, I carry stress and tension in my neck. What people are referring to here is the muscles, the upper trapezius here, as well as the levator scapula. These also will commonly refer headaches. So what I always like to teach people to do is something with a lacrosse ball. Now, how many of you have seen a lacrosse ball? I know this is not a very popular sport in Indiana, so we got a couple people here. Okay, so here's what we're gonna do. I need a volunteer. Who wants to volunteer? You're the first one. I can't see anybody but you since you're in the front row. So let's come on up. And what's your name? Danica. Danica? Okay, my name's Tyler. Nice to meet you. So I want everybody to stand up here real quick, especially if you're in the back and you can't see. So Danica here is going to demonstrate. I'm going to have you turn around, sweetheart. And now, if we're looking at Danica's shoulder here, the shoulder blade itself, you want to find the inside margin where it meets the top margin here, where they form a point. Now, Danica is young, healthy, and made out of rubber, so she doesn't have many problems like we do. And when you get old and decrepit like me, this will probably hurt when I poke into it. So what you want to do here is you want to place this lacrosse ball right in the top corner of that shoulder blade. And now, if it's okay, I'm going to have you lay down here on the ground. This is why I'm going to have everybody stand up. So have you lay on your back here. Perfect. So now, Danica, what I want you to do is I'm going to place this right underneath your shoulder, and you can go head back. And now, go ahead and lay back and relax here. And now, if I could, I'm going to have you walk your feet up so they're right by your butt here. And now, I want you to take your hand just like this. So this is called a lacrosse ball windmill drill. And what we call it a windmill drill is because you want to make the largest arcing circle that you can with your arm. So what we're doing here is we're pinning down a trigger point and then what we call a flossing maneuver. So, Danica, what I want you to do is to slide this arm in a large circle around here, and I want you to relax the muscles of your chest and shoulder here. Good, and you're going to have to lift that arm to go across your head and face. So I want you to draw a big circle with your arm, just like that. Perfect. And now you're going to start always with the palm face up here. This is important because bringing that arm into external rotation is going to allow you to access, it's going to allow you to access those muscles in the upper part of the shoulder. And you're going to want to do this about 10 to 15 times each arm. This is not the most comfortable drill in the world. Again, Danica, young, healthy, made out of rubber. She's fine. All of us, this is probably going to be a little tender, so go easy on this. What's that? Yeah, probably. So this is something you want to do about 10 to 15 times each side, but if you do feel spots that are more tight and tender, you can put a little bit more pressure, do a couple more repetitions into this. This is your tension headaches. I carry stress and tension in my shoulder muscles, things like that. So let's go ahead and sit you on up here, Danica. Good, go ahead and stand up. How about a round of applause for Danica? Thank you very much. You can go ahead and sit down. So rather than show you guys videos, I'm just going to keep pulling people from the audience. So, where are you at? Oh yeah, it's very hard rubber. So, these you can pick up at Dick's, you can pick up at pretty much any sporting goods store. It is a solid rubber ball. It's pretty hard. This works a lot better than a tennis ball or a racquet ball, things like that. But you don't want to use a golf ball or a baseball either. That's way too hard. So, now the pec muscle group. Again, Mr. Burns posture, rolled forward. Okay, so most people might not think that, my pecs are tight if I'm working in a computer all the time. But you are the positions that you routinely subject yourself to. If your shoulders are rolled forward, your pecs are going to be shortened and tight. So one of the big things that I always work on with my neck cases, with my upper back cases, is getting the thoracic cage to open up so that your pecs aren't so tight. So to demonstrate here, we're going to have to utilize a wall. So can I get another volunteer? I can't see with the lights here. Give me somebody. All right. Sorry, I can't see anybody with this light here. What's your name? Kamal, nice to meet you. We're going to take you right on over here, so Kamal, what do you do for a living?
I'm a software developer.
Okay, so you spend some time at a computer, right? Okay, so I'm going to move some stuff out of the way here. Actually, what I want you to do is we are going to, yeah, it is kind of bright. What we're going to do is you want to find the corner of a wall. This is called a doorway stretch. This is pretty simple, pretty straightforward. You want to get your arm just above shoulder height here, and you want to step through the doorway. At no point do you want to rotate your torso. You want to keep this squared up, and you want to stretch through here. So, Kamal, I'm going to have you stand over here and face this way for me. Good, so typically how I'm cueing my patients with this is I want you to slide your forearm up like this. So you don't want it to be below the shoulder. Now, this is something, do you have any shoulder issues? No, like labral tears or anything? No. Okay, good. So what I want you to do is I want you to pull your shoulder blades together like this. Good. Now, taking this leg, I want you to step forward through the doorway. Good. Now, I want you to step forward until you start to feel a stretch in the pecs here. Now, this is a static stretch. It's not the most effective in the world if this has been going on for a very long time, but it's a really good, like, end of the day kind of stretch. So now you're starting to feel some in here?
Yes.
What we're doing is we're stretching the entire pectoral group with this. Again, I try to work more macro than micro. I want to hit all the muscles at once rather than try to isolate and target. So here, you want to hold about 30 seconds, back off, give yourself a break, go back into it again another 30 seconds. Try to push the barrier just a little bit further each time. Okay, go ahead and take a break here, Kamal. So now, the next myofascial release for the pectoral group is, again, lacrosse ball. This is a favorite of mine. What you want to do here is find where the collarbone meets the deltoid, and you're going to find a little divot right here. Again, you want to find the corner of it. You can actually do this on a wall, but it works a little bit better on a corner. So, Kamal, what we're going to do here, and you got a little bit of a thick sweatshirt, but do you feel and can you appreciate right where your collarbone is here?
Yes.
And then your shoulder.
Right.
I want you to place that right there. And now I want you to take this hand, I want you to put it in your back pocket for me. Good. So now I want you to step toward this so that the lacrosse ball is right against the wall here. So we got some stuff here in the way. We'll move. There we go. Good. So now you want to lean into this, and you want to keep that shoulder blade pulled back and down here. Good. So you want to lean into this until you, does that feel like a pretty good amount of pressure here? Good. So I want you to sit down. Try to be, I want you to try to be as thorough as possible here. You want to scan until you find spots that are really tight and tender. Now, I imagine it's not taking very long, right? Right, okay. So when you do, smash it in guacamole. Half a minute. Okay, smash it until it starts to bring a tear to your eye. Good. So you want to keep it like a slow, controlled, like a very small movements here. There we go. Okay, so this, 30 to 60 seconds per spot that you find, and then you move on. It's not rocket science. All right, Kamal, thank you very much. So now, do you have a lacrosse ball at home?
No, I don't.
You don't? Okay, guess what? This is yours now.
Oh,
Participation trophy. Thank you. Thank you, Kamal. Okay, so the bastard stepchild of the shoulder girdle complex, the lower traps. So we talked about loosening the upper traps. So now the lower traps, this is a big diamond-shaped muscle, and you can kind of appreciate on this anatomical model. It goes from the base of the skull to the shoulder to the middle portion of the back. Now the lower portion of that is what takes your shoulder from being Mr. Burns up here to in this down and back in neutral position. So we can do lacrosse ball work until we're all blue in the face. We can do all sorts of stretching, deep tissue massage, dry needling, whatever, until we're all blue in the face. But unless we correct the underlying cause, this will just be a continual issue. So waking up the lower trapezius, I won't go into how long of an exercise this is because I only have 1 minute left. So if you want to scan the QR code, you can find out for yourself. It's a pretty easy process. Or you can just ask me after the presentation. So waking up the lower trapezius, that's going to help bring the shoulder blade back and down, taking your bowling ball head back over your center of mass, okay? So if you need a refresher course, this QR code up here is going to link you right to my YouTube channel. It's got a video on everything that we've went over here. I don't expect you to remember all of this, but just a little bit about myself, just in case you're wondering what qualifies me to be up here. I'm a chiropractor and acupuncturist by trade. I work at Integrated Health Solutions here in Indianapolis, just up the street. Also Cryotherapy Indy. So we do a little bit of everything there. So if you guys have questions about that stuff, if you're wondering what else you can do to help mitigate some of your work-related stress, you just let me know here, okay? We do cryotherapy, we do sensory deprivation tank, we have Normatec compression suits, we have infrared sauna, we also do dry needling, chiropractic, and physical therapy as well. So there is a sign-up sheet by my homegirl Carol's booth back there. So if you're interested, you can sign up. I'm going to be doing a drawing tomorrow. You just leave your name and your email address. We're going to be giving away 1 free cryotherapy session and 1 free session in the sensory deprivation tank. So if you have any questions whatsoever, don't hesitate to contact us or read more into it at cryotherapyindy.com or ihsindy.com. And thank you very much for your time, and thank you, Calvin and Gabrielle. And let's give them a round of applause for putting this on tonight.
Oh, thank you very much.